Welcome to the Solopreneur CEO podcast. I'm Carin Kilby-Clark, and along with my co-host Marcia Sheehan, we help solopreneurs lead with clarity and build businesses that grow without burnout. This show is for solopreneurs who've built something real but are carrying more of the load than they want to be. Your business works, but it depends too heavily on you. And deep down, you know it shouldn't feel this hard. Here, we talk about the mindset, systems, structure, and support it actually takes to run a business without sacrificing your well-being. We're not about hustle culture or pushing harder just to survive. This podcast is about stepping out of reactive solopreneur mode and into CEO-level leadership so your business can support your life instead of consuming it. If you're ready for honest conversations, real-world strategies, and a lot less pretending, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to Solopreneur CEO. We are kind of back to a normal, I love that I'm always putting air quotes up that y'all can't see, but a normal episode where Marcia and I are chatting through a topic. We've had a couple of, or maybe 3 episodes that have kind of focused on our summit, which was fun. And we had a really good time with that. And hopefully you enjoyed the little snippets in the last episode. And today we thought we would talk about one of the themes that kind of keeps coming up. And we noticed it a lot as we were working through the summit, and our talks had so many similarities. And this through line was like glaring at us. And so today we're going to talk about the hidden cost of being reliable in your business. Reliable. That's what we're going to talk about. It's going to be a good one. So, you have a full client load, your inbox is overflowing, you maybe can't take a day off. Your business looks amazing from the outside, but inside you could be crumbling a little bit. And so we don't want to dance around that. Like, we want to just talk about that and what we think is the reason for it. That when you build a business, a lot of times you have just built yourself a job. So we're not going to, dance around the topic. We really want to just hit it head on. So Marcia, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I love this idea of an episode because when we first talked about it, it was like, oh yeah, this plays into everything. This plays into your, the decision to be a CEO. And then also my audacity, where we talk about how you can become the default. And, my talk is more for like everything in your life, but that comes from, I think, potentially like starting out as a business owner, and because that takes some gonads. I didn't want to say balls, and like gonads is so much worse, but oh my God. Anyway, so it takes some real balls to start your own business, right? And so people see that and I think they're in awe of it, and they're like, oh my God, well, she can do anything. She's a superwoman. And so then you have people in your personal life asking for stuff, people in your professional life asking for stuff. Maybe you have some proteges or people that you're helping out, like you're a mentor to, and everybody is constantly tapping you on the shoulder, asking you to help them because you are reliable, you're dependable. But as Carin said, it does start to crumble inside, and you're just basically, I think your nervous system is just in overreactive mode, and maybe you end up getting a autoimmune disease, or you're gaining weight and you don't know why, or you're not sleeping well at night. And it's all the added pressure. Like it's going to take a physical toll on you. And so, yeah, I think what got you here won't get you there. We say that all the time, and it's so true. And being reliable, it's a decision. Like you have to determine, like, what do you want to be reliable when it comes to? We were just talking about a client who they know exactly what their problem is. They've had the problem for a few years, but now there's work to get everything situated, but then the person's not responding with what's needed. And so like, that's when you want to be reliable. It's like, you know what the problem is, we know how to fix it, but we actually need you to hand the stuff over. So yeah, I don't know if you want to talk more about that, but it came up like right before, and I'm like, it's like the pendulum swinging from one side of being like constantly available for everything to the other side of like, okay, I know this needs help and work. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's really interesting when you're working with clients who are at that level, like 20K plus a month, right? Your business is doing well. You have a full client load, you are doing your thing, but you don't really have systems in place, or you have some things but not other things. You're like, you know that you need to get that in place. You know you need to do, maybe have a CRM. Like if you don't have a CRM system, let's say, maybe you still are using a spreadsheet to track your leads. No judgment, maybe a little. But so but and so you're like, okay, I know this is my problem. I know I need to fix it. You find a service provider, you do all the things to get started, and then you're still busy though with actually running your business and doing all the things. So you are slow to respond to the service provider and get them what they need. And then you start to feel the mental load of that, right? There's the guilt, the shame. Oh my God. And then, oh, I've paid for this. I need to do it. Just creates so much of a bottleneck in your mind, your heart, your soul. Like it really will weigh down on you when you are trying to be the person for every single thing. It is just, it's not sustainable. It's literally not sustainable when everything lives in your head, when you don't really have systems for things. You have a process that you do, but it's so like overly manual, and you have to do all these steps every single time. And you know that you could automate or you could systematize, but you are not taking the time to invest in actually setting it up because it seems like it will take too long. It seems like it's faster to just keep doing it the way you're doing it. But in the long run, you're costing yourself so much in the time, the mental load, all the things. So, what I said to Marsha before we started recording is like, sometimes you have to go slow to go fast. And it feels weird because you're like, oh, I don't have time to slow down and like, kind of do these steps, but you really don't have time not to because it's not going to get better until you make it get better by doing what you need to do to set stuff up differently. So, yeah. I mean, if everything in your business has to run through you, you will never get past a certain point because you can't. You're one person. Like it's not physically possible. So yeah, and we can talk maybe in another episode because Marcia knows I have a lot of thoughts about AI and how you can use AI to help you move faster and do things quicker and easier. And I am not talking about having it write all your sales pages and content. I'm literally not at all talking about using it as like a chat bot. I'm talking about AI powered systems. So that's a whole nother subject, but it's not optional. As a solo operator, solopreneur that's trying to move into CEO mode, you have a business, it's popping, it's doing well, you've got everything going, but you will not be able to grow if you don't move out of this I am the one. I am the one. And that whole like, I'm so reliable, I've got to be reliable mentality. It is kind of like an employee mindset. I mean, if you think about it, right? If you work in a job, it's like do or die. Like if you're in corporate or whatever, like if you're not working your butt off, right? You're afraid that you're going to get replaced or, you could get fired. Like it really is that like leftover employee mindset that we have to just root out because you are the boss now. And so you have to be approaching your business and setting up your business and running your business from that boss mentality.
So good. And I think when you say growth too, you're not going to be able to grow if you don't make these decisions, if you don't stop being the bottleneck. Growth for people that can make you think like, I need to grow a team. I need to grow, like whatever comes to mind. And this is like a pattern disruptor that I find very helpful when it comes to personal development. Whenever somebody says something and you immediately get an image in your mind, of like a spreadsheet or of a graph, a pie graph or whatever, stop what you're thinking and recognize that there are other ways of growth, because you might be talking about growing your revenue. You might be talking about growing your portfolio career, like things that you actually want to do. It's not necessarily like growing the exact business that you're in, and it's not related to expanding your team, growing your revenue, whatever. Growth can be whatever it's different for every single person, but ultimately, like, this business is it's your therapy, it's your way of evolving you into the person that you're supposed to be. You're a leader. I think that we all evolve into who it is we're supposed to be, but we might take our time. We might be like bamboo and we're underground for 30 years, and then we just shoot up, in the span of like a month or whatever. So just think about that whenever you're thinking about growth. And Care I'm not gonna call you rude, but like you're calling me out, and I get it. And I love that you and I, because like yesterday, we were doing our Biz Bestie meetup and doing our planning and everything, which we didn't do a lot of planning. We did a lot of like strategizing and like, yeah, and chatting and all of that stuff, which is great and good for the soul. But Carin was talking about FG funnels, and she is like certified in that and everything. I'm gonna like bite the bullet and do that, because all of my systems in the back end, like Carin and I are so good. Like she's so good at the systems and I'm so good at like the mindset. And of course we both bleed over in those different aspects too. But if I want to be serious about this activating audacity, I have to have like a good back end, or I am going to drive myself insane. And I'm not at that point now, like with personal stuff going on. Like I don't have the capacity. I just know that I don't. And I know who it is I want to serve and how I want to serve them. And with the personal stuff, I just know that I'm not going to be able to do both of them even at 50% if I don't get it set up. So Carin convinced me yesterday. I literally wrote it on my power sheets for this month. I was like, get FG funnels set up. That's a big commitment for me because I hate tech, but whatever. It's like it needs to get done. And I need to just set aside a week where I can like black out and just like get it done. Cause I've done this with everything in business, the stuff I don't want to do. Like I'll just, have a conversation with myself, like, Marcia, grow the fuck up. Like just do what you need to do. Right. And so I'm going to do that. But like, it's going to be hard for me to pull back and do that. But then I know that Marcia from 2027, like when I'm running like the third or fourth group program and everything is firing on all cylinders, and I'm not worried about, oh, did this person get that, or like the lead gen or any of that. Like it's all going to be set up. And like who knows what is going to be happening in my personal, well, no, actually I do. Like this time next year my son's going to be almost graduating from high school, and I'm going to be a freaking ball of like, don't even get me started. I'm like about to cry now just thinking about it. So I'm going to work on my business now the way that I should have done a while ago, but I didn't know what I was doing back then. Now I know, Carin, right? Like we know what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's, taking that ownership and realizing, thinking about your business and being available 24/7, it doesn't serve anyone. Like it's not serving me. It's not serving the people that, I hope to be working with, or even in the past, like the people I was working with. Like it just was not, it wasn't a reliable system. And so like, let's do that. Let's remove my reliable self to a reliable system, and then maybe have some like emotional health. That got a bit out there. I'm not editing it either. I've decided I'm not going to be editing as much. So yeah, we'll
I
see.
love it. Keep it in. But no, I love that. And that is the point. Because I think a lot of times when people hear like, oh, you need systems and you need to be doing less in your business, like we're not saying less gets done in your business, right? Like it's two different things. You doing less does not mean your business is doing less, because the point is these systems, these processes, these automations will be filling those gaps, and they become the thing you can rely on instead of you. Your memory. Did I send this? Oh, I still need to get that to that client. Did I send the link? Oh, I got to grab that. I mean, that is insane. I don't know how anyone wants to sustain that type of chaotic operating. It's not you, it just does not work. And Marcia knows from experience, I know from experience, like and so my the way I approach things is always different because I do work full time and I love my job. I still have my job. I don't think I'm gonna be not having it for a while, right? As a matter of fact, I just had my 19th anniversary, which is insane, by the way. Like almost 2 decades. Anyway, side note. But when I started, like that was my first thing was like, well, how does this get done without me having to do it? Because I don't have time. Like I didn't have time. I don't have any of the extra time that I want to have because I got to go to work every day. So it really forced me. And sometimes that will happen if you have like an event or personal things or health problems. Like there could be something that kind of forces you into this, right? Where you're like, okay, I got to do, but we don't want you to feel forced. We don't want you to have to, come at it from like, okay, I have no other choice. Just come at it from, I want my business to run smoothly. I want my clients to get everything they need. I want my income to not be capped by my capacity. So what does that look like? And it's not ever going to be that you are the answer for everything. Like you are, if it all comes back to you, you have to do something, you have to think about something, you have to be the one that is pushing the button. That's always going to put a limit on how much you can grow. And like Marcia said, growth is it's whatever your vision is. We're not here to tell you want to have a Fortune 500 someday, more power to you. If you are like, let me stay in my little tiny business world, my 240K a month, a year is great. That's fine too. Like, we are not going to tell you what your business needs to look like as a solopreneur, but whatever your vision is to achieve it, it's never going to be, okay, I'm the one that does every single thing.
And that goes for your life too, okay? I mean, Carin, have you taught your son how to do the laundry yet? Because you mentioned that a couple episodes ago.
We're working on it.
Okay,
Yeah, we're
good,
working on
good.
it.
Okay, good. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like every aspect of your life, I think that's why we love having these conversations and talking to solopreneurs because you're not just running a business, you're running your life too. And you're running your kids' lives and you're yeah. So just think about it in those other terms too, about how you can like just systems that you can create in every aspect of your life. Yeah. And I love that Carin's like, we're not going to tell you how you need to grow. Like nobody knows. And that's the truth. That's the God's honest truth is that nobody knows ultimately like where your destination ends or the path that you're on, right? Because you can decide to take some side steps or whatever. And but yeah, I think just being intentional about knowing you just can't do an A+ job if you're trying to handle everything that life is throwing at you. So the systems, yeah, and I think that's why it's so good, Carin, that like we partnered up because you did have to do that with the systems. And for me to be where I'm at, I mean, yeah, I did just like start crying a little bit about my kid, but it's like that's part of who I am, like being able to actually process things like in the moment and to recognize like okay, these feelings are so deep and they're so raw, but I know that it's not that like I feel like a lot of people have a hard time emoting because they're like, oh, I'm going to get stuck in an emotion, but like emotion it's in motion. And so for me like to be able to have like such a I feel like I have a very roller coaster life with emotions, but like I don't get stuck, like I'm not like stuck in the top of the loop. And so me having that ability to do that with my slow growth entrepreneurship, it's amazing. But now that it's time for me to like get the VIP pass, oh, let's plug that in a minute. But now that it's time for me to get that fast pass at Disney World where I'm going on every roller coaster as much as I want, like I see it, like I have a very clear image of what I want to be doing and how I want to be doing it. And so like I have to set up the back end system. So if you're in a similar situation right now, I highly recommend Carin's services. I think that she's amazing at helping people. Like, she can just take a look and be like, okay, this is where your damage is, but she puts it better than but she'll be like, this is what you could do to, you know, make it better, to make your systems run better. And sometimes it is something like FG funnels where it's everything. Because right now, having like MailChimp and Squarespace and I don't even know, like PayPal, like nothing, like everything is so bojangled together. And it's like, no, I just need to have like something that works well that I'm just checking on every once in a while. So yeah.
Yes, I love it. And back at Marcia, because if you're feeling like you're not really making bold moves and you want to be stepping further, going further, like the audacity that Marcia's talking about, it just, I love it. And I was telling her yesterday that I have a new client that signed on and she was almost trying to fit me in her box, like, well, this is what I need. This is, and I'm like, look, this is how I work. This is what I build in. This is what I do. And then she came back and said, all right, cool. And paid the invoice. It's like, but in the past, I would have been like, okay. And then I would have spent like 10 hours trying to figure out all her stuff, like what she uses, which would have been a waste of time. And then I would have been resenting that I signed her on. And then it would, it just, it's a whole spiral. So I felt kind of, audacious because I was like, no, this is how I work. This is what I do. So if that sounds good to you, cool. If not, I'm okay that this might not be the good fit. So yeah, I just felt so good taking that step and being and seeing my growth, right? From when I first started my agency in 2020, I totally would have been like, all right, cool. And then I would have hated myself later. So it was amazing.
Yeah, I love that. She told me and she's like, this was my audacious act. And I was like, oh my God, it made my heart so happy. I would have been so mad at you, Carin, if you would have went along with whatever she said. But that's the thing. People are hiring you because you're the expert. Like, don't let them, and it's not even that they're trying to bully you. They're just like me, like, I don't want to change and put all of my eggs in this basket because I don't know, like it just feels scary. And so you have to like walk them through and be like, no, I'm going to be there. I'm going to help you. Like this is a reputable software system that we're putting everything in or whatever. So yeah, that was amazing. And oh, the all access pass. So we do have the summit. Like if you go to, is it the Solopreneur CEO? Can you help Carin? I don't know where they're supposed to go.
Yeah, I think it's the Solopreneur CEO /summit upgrade page. Maybe we'll put the link in the show notes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we did. So we have all of the presentations from the summit in order so you can watch them. We also have all of the audio from the presentations if you'd rather just listen to the podcast, and then a workbook that you can fill out as you're like going through the presentations. And I think there might be some other stuff, but anyway, just check it out. It's in the show notes, and we will talk to you next week.
Thanks so much for spending time with us today. If this episode made you feel seen or helped something click, join our free community at thesolopreneurceo.com. This is a space to connect with other solopreneurs who are building sustainable businesses and don't want to do it alone. And if you found this conversation helpful, leaving a quick review helps more people find the show and remind them they're not the only ones feeling this way. We're really glad you're here, and we'll see you in the next episode.